Hello, and thank you for using the gEAR portal. My name is Joshua, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Dataset Explorer. It replaces what was previously called the Dataset Manager with a heavier focus on searching for datasets that you want to see gene expression for. On the front page of the gEAR now, it has been split into two, with gene expression searches on the left, and now the new dataset searches on the right. You can enter a search term that you want to find within dataset titles or descriptions, or you can click here just to launch the Explorer itself and search from there. By default, the initial data shown are the 10 most recent public uploaded datasets, or your own if they're private. So this list will change depending on when you watch this video. On the left, you'll find a lot of filtering controls to search for other datasets. And on the top, some controls to change how they're sorted or what their views are like. And these change depending on what's going on in the page. For example, I'm going to start by searching for sensory and hit enter. And I get 18 results from that. Scrolling down, by default, these are in a sort of a list, a compact view. If I'm interested in this data set, the P25 through P27, there's a few controls here. I can click here to view it. What that will do is it will take you to the front page, preload that data set, and allow you to search a gene for it. This one allows you to create a curation. So that's a display, your own customized display of these data if you don't like what looks like to be violin plots that are currently displayed. And here's a sharing button. If you click it, it'll copy the URL of the dataset to the clipboard, and you can paste it into an email or into your browser. You can also expand this view by clicking on the arrows here. That gives a bit more information about the dataset, including the source, the version number. Here it links out to PubMed and Geo. A longer description that the authors have provided. And here, the list of all the other profiles that this dataset can be found in. And remember, in the gEAR, a profile is simply a collection of datasets, so people can group those together that they're most interested in. By default, we can see the profiles here if you expand this profile management. The site profiles are those collections of datasets into named profiles that we at the gEAR team have thought to be useful for the community. But below that, you can create any list of your own. I want to do that here, so I'm going to create my own new profile for sensory datasets. So I'm going to click this plus button in the middle to add a new profile. I'll call it sensory, and click the add button. That preloads that profile, but it didn't change your dataset list because it assumes you're wanting to add datasets into this profile. I want to see first only those which were uploaded within the last year. So I click this filter here. It refreshes that dataset list, and I see just those. I'd like to add this one and that one to my profile. Now I want to remove the limitation of just those in the last year. You can click either any time or toggle this one off. But I want to see human only. And there's an additional one. And it turns out I've already added it because it was one of those that was in the last year. So this button is to remove it from a profile, and this is to add it. Now I want to see this profile when I do my searches on the home page. So this blue button here on the left will make this profile the active one on your primary gEAR search. This saves this setting for you only. So if I click that and then go back to the front page, you'll see the sensory profile is the one that was preloaded. So I can choose a few genes. This toggles, I want to search for exactly those genes, not anything that has those in the name, and search. So notice the two datasets that I added are the only ones that I see, but I get to view annotation information for those side by side, expression information. And you can toggle between them. You can also change the way that these are viewed. If I feel that these boxes are a little bit too compact, or some of the displays, especially like t-SNE plot displays, look much better if they're wider, I can go back to the Dataset Explorer. The sensory profile is loaded. Let's see. You can choose others. Let's see. Sensory. There we go. You'll notice when it's selected, the interface detected that this profile was one of yours. And when it's your profile, you're allowed to do things like, you notice this button appeared for arrangement view. If you click it, I see just the two datasets loaded in this profile. You can rearrange them by just clicking and dragging and moving them about. Or if you grab the edge, I can drag it over and make it wider. And then save. Now when I go back to the front page, search for a gene again, it now takes up 2 spaces instead of just 1, and it's a lot more clear to read the bars and the labels themselves. So that's just a quick introduction to the Dataset Explorer. Of course, you can search from terms here, like if I search for neonatal, hit enter, it will load, find 2 datasets that have neonatal in their titles, or it also searches their descriptions, and you can enter PubMed ID or GeoIDs. So if you get the PubMed ID for a paper, and you're interested in any of the datasets loaded in the system for that paper, you can just enter the PubMed ID and all those will show up. Finally, you can also, if I'm done with this sensory profile, I can delete it and it goes away. For any other profiles that you see, like if you're looking through here, if I see this adult profile, this button, clicking it views the datasets that are within that profile. So it doesn't do that automatically when you change profiles, just because if you've performed a search, you don't want to erase the list of datasets in the search. Since part of the point of this is to be able to add datasets to your profile, we don't want to clear your search results each time you change. But when you do want to view the list of datasets in a profile, just click this button here. You can also share profiles. So this was the button to share a dataset, and that will take you directly to that dataset. If you want someone to be able to see an entire profile, this is the share button for that. Click, and the URL is copied, and you can paste that into an email or anywhere else to share with somebody else. Thank you for using the gEAR, and I hope this tutorial was helpful.